Diana! Hear me out. I really need your help with something right now. You're my older sister and the only family member I have left since Mom and Dad both passed away. I'm going through a very hard time in life. It might be hard for you to believe what happened, but I swear to God, every word I'm about to say is true. So, the other day, my place was caught on fire. Kaden and I were so afraid as we see our entire apartment catch on fire. What's worse, we have nowhere to go now.
What? Your house was caught on fire? Why didn't you tell me earlier? I could have been worried to death.
The entire building lays in ruins right now. There are like about 50 firemen and police officers here. Although the fire has been extinguished, everyone living in our apartment complex is now homeless. It's really nothing but chaos.
That's so horrible. I don't know what I would do if something happens to you. All I know is that it would just be devastating. I hope that you and Kaden are all right. Don't think about items lost in that fire. Your health and safety are the most important things to care about right now. Are you guys injured by any chance? I'll be there in a second. Text me the address of the hospital. What's your room number?
Hold up a second, Diana. Don't start panicking just yet. Calm down and take a breath yourself first. Kaden and I are just okay. Both of us got lucky. We're alive and kicking. In fact, nobody got hurt in this incident. A few residents fainted due to shock after they got out of the building, but most people are perfectly fine. Kaden and I ran down the stairs instantly after we saw flames burning. We were quick to find the emergency exit and make sure to cover our nose with a wet towel.
That's great news to hear. You have no idea how relieved I am right now to know that you're alive. Seriously, though, but this has made my day. It scares me by simply thinking that the two of you were at death's door. I'm sure Mom and Dad would probably be bawling their eyes out by now if they were still here with us. I could only imagine how you probably had one foot in the grave already. Anyways, I'm just so glad that you guys turned out to be safe and sound.
Yeah, I know, right? But the worst thing to me is that I have lost my apartment. Where am I supposed to go now? I just feel so stressed out and overwhelmed. Kaden and I now have no choice but to live on the streets. We're freezing outside with no food to eat and no water to drink.
Don't you worry about that. In times like this, the local government or city council usually have temporary residents available. Plus, I'm positive that the insurance company will make sure Kaden and you don't turn into vagrants.
I mean, we're to blame really for the fire. So I don't think this neighborhood could accommodate us anymore. As for assigned temporary housing, it's usually some crappy condo in a slum. You know Kaden and I. We prioritize the level of comfort in a house.
What?
Also, we never bought insurance in the first place. That's why I'm telling you how we're seriously at our wits' end. Kaden and I are gonna turn into drifters soon.
Wait a second. What do you mean that you're to blame for the fire? Did the fire spread from your place to the entire building?
Well, we didn't know that smoking a few cigarettes would cause such a disaster. But anyways, I told Kaden to be more careful next time. I mean, he has a habit of taking a smoke before going to bed. It's like his nightcap.
This has gotta be a joke. You can't possibly burn the whole complex down, though. What were you guys even thinking?
If you're here to nag me, then you better save it for yourself. Don't you think that I've not had enough of people throwing rocks at me? I'm also a victim, after all. I mean, my landlord and the other residents were all blowing a fuse on me earlier. But it's not like the end of the world anyways. A lot of them have fire insurance. There might even be a new building constructed because of this incident. Wouldn't that be great? So I don't get why everyone is flying off the handle for something that's not even a big deal.
Don't try to gloss over your mistake after causing so much trouble for the people around you.
Well, it's not like we burned the building on purpose. What are we supposed to do then? Go kill ourselves? Anyway, Kaden and I plan to start our new life in your house, Diana. You're my older sister. You gotta help us out.
Excuse me?
I have the key with me to Mom and Dad's house. So don't worry. I'm covered in soot from the fire right now. I gotta take a shower first.
Hold up a moment. What makes you think that it's alright to move into my place without permission?
Mom and Dad were the ones who bought it. I'm their daughter, so of course I can live there. You did nothing but inherit the property from them. So obviously I'm not gonna let you take it all. Anyways, I'm looking forward to living under the same roof with you.
Hey, Diana. Sorry for the inconvenience that Miley and I caused you. I'm assuming that you were caught off guard, right? I surely was. I won't blame you guys for the fire. You didn't mean to do it after all. But you should have given me a heads up before moving into my house. I'm so sorry for that. I told Miley that we should give you prior notice. But she told me, Diana's a family member. There's no need to bow and scrape with her. It's true that my parents used to own this house before. But I'm the one in charge of everything here currently. Just know that I don't mind lending a hand during times of emergency. But it's still necessary to mind your manners. All things aside, the two of you can stay here until everything is figured out. Yeah, about that. I need to let you in on something. Miley and I are planning to just settle down in your house. What do you mean? You practically live in Wonderland. That's what I mean. I'm tired of having our living space crammed into a shabby apartment. It's time for Miley and I to enjoy life in a single-family home. You'll put me in a difficult position then. Although Miley's my younger sister and you're my brother-in-law, I have my own life. With that being said, excuse me for telling you this, but the two of you can't stay here forever. You both work and have a stable monthly income. It won't be too hard to get your life together again, don't you think? So I'm gonna ask you guys to move out when you have enough money to find a new place. Are you saying that I can stay here forever as long as I don't have my life together? In that case, I got it. Miley and I are both unemployed right now. We can't ever get our lives together this way. Pardon me? Both of you are unemployed right now? Exactly. I happened to quit my job last year. Then Miley got tired with hers too and resigned as well. But we're still having the time of our life as a couple.
Are you being serious?
You bet I am. Also, we're behind on rent for the past few months. If it wasn't for the fire, we would have been evicted by now. That's why I'm thinking that the fire saved us a few pennies in a way. I mean, now we have a legitimate excuse to live in a bigger house for free. Ha! I can't believe it. I know, right? Me neither at first. Oh, right, I forgot to remind you this. But the love of my life is Miley. So don't try to lay your hands on me just because I'm attractive. It's too bad that I'm taken. Plus, I believe you won't go so far as to ruin your own sister's life with lust. I don't know what makes you think this way, but whatever. I mean, I've always been chased after by MILFs before marrying Miley. But don't worry. I'm not thirsty enough to seduce my older sister-in-law. It's you who should be rather careful to not fall in love with me.
Diana! Is this how you treat your own family? You're such a terrible person! I warned you multiple times before to leave Caden alone. How can you go after your own sister's husband? I'm demanding you to cut that off right now. I don't care how dying you are for a man just because you've been single too long. But Caden should not be on your list, no matter what.
What are you talking about? I swear to God that I've never had eyes out for Caden. Not even a second in my life. Are you out of your mind?
Caden told me everything already. You won't stop ogling him when he's in the shower. What's worse, You've been secretly taking photos of him this entire time.
It's all a misunderstanding. I was simply telling him to hurry up with his business because he won't come out. I mean, it takes him 2 hours at least to literally do anything in the bathroom. How is that even possible at all? Plus, all he does in there is play games or go on his phone while locking the door. I also need to use the bathroom a lot of the times. So obviously I wanted to check if he's still using it or not.
Then why were you taking pictures of him? It's illegal, you pervert. This is solid proof of you having a crush on Caden. And you're stalking him. What excuse can you come up with? I'm thinking none.
Well, those pictures are indeed a solid proof of something. They're solid proof of your husband stealing money from my wallet.
What? Are you accusing Caden of theft?
Yes, I am. Because that's exactly what he is. A thief. I couldn't help but notice recently that the cash in my wallet is nowhere to be seen. So I installed a security camera at home. Then, just like I expected, your husband was going through my wallet and slipping cash into his pocket. Anyway, I have been spying on him all right.
I don't believe it. Caden would never do such a thing.
Let me remind you this again, because you didn't take me seriously last time. But he's been pestering me for giving him allowances. This is what happened after I turned him down. When I confronted your husband about it, he yelled, "Do you have proof?" at me. That was when I decided to take action.
In other words, you weren't treating him nicely. It's all your fault then. Oh gosh. I can't even begin to imagine what Caden had to go through. Not only was his privacy rights invaded, he is now short on money. How can you hurt my husband like this just because you're too frugal?
Are you being serious right now? How is this my fault?
Caden and I have lost everything in that fire. Our belongings, furniture, shelter, and memories cannot be regained whatsoever. You could have just let what happened slip this one time. Caden's your brother-in-law. What's so wrong about giving him some allowances? It's not even that big of a deal.
Are you really out of your mind?
What's more, this cannot be a reason for you to invade his privacy. I'm sure you were using his photos to fulfill your own fantasy. You're seriously nothing but a homewrecker. I've already lost my house. Are you planning on taking my husband away from me too? This is all so terrible of you.
What are you talking about?
I can't stand this any longer. You need to pay for your action. So get out of here now. I won't put up with your misbehavior anymore.
What do you mean, get out of here? This is my house. I'm the owner. If you can't take it any longer, then the two of you should just move out.
We're unemployed and broke. It's impossible for us to find a new place right now. So I hereby declare that this house now belongs to Caden and me. You're single and have nothing else to worry about. So that's why you should be the one to get out of here.
What's wrong with you? You better wake up and get your acts together. I'm letting the two of you live at my place for free. You didn't even pay me 1 cent. Is that how you show gratitude?
I don't care. Don't ever come near my husband again. Just move out already, for God's sake. I have the duty to make sure that Caden feels safe at home. So stop trying to make excuses for yourself and leave us the heck alone. Don't you even feel ashamed? Anyways, Caden and I are the owners of this house from now on. As for you, Diana, find yourself somewhere else to live in.
That's fine with me. Just don't regret your decision later on. Can you do that?
Of course. I never regret any decision I make. Tell you what, I'm like a dog with 2 tails now. Caden and I will make sure to live our life to the fullest. Think about it. But isn't it just unfair for you to inherit all of Mom and Dad's legacy? I mean, I got nothing but a few $100,000.
Sounds good to me. This property now belongs to Caden and you. I have reached my limit already, so it'll help to leave this place. Anyways, I hope you'll have fun here with your husband in the days to come. But first, ask your bank account if you can afford the rent. Without my financial support, I wonder how the two of you, who are both jobless, can manage to figure everything out. In fact, the landlord here will get you evicted as soon as there's a late bill.
Wait, what? Where is this rent coming from? Mom and Dad are the owners of this property. So who is this landlord?
You'll see for yourself soon. Take care. Goodbye.
Diana! What is going on right now? A stranger just broke into the house. She called Caden to meet squatters and told us to get out.
Don't just call her a stranger. That's rude. Do you not know who she is? It's Yara, Dad's relative. You know, the one who gave us old t-shirts every year for Christmas.
I might have met her once or twice now that you mentioned it. But still, why is she here? And what does she mean when she calls us squatters? She's also threatening to call the police.
Have you not heard anything yet? She's evicting you as the landlord.
Wait, what? The landlord? Is Yara the landlord you were talking about?
Yep, that's right. In other words, she's the actual homeowner. So basically, the single-family home you're living in currently wasn't purchased by Mom and Dad. Now you know what's going on, right?
Are you serious? Is this really what it is?
I forgot to tell you this earlier, but Yara actually works in the real estate industry. Dad rented one of her properties many years ago when he was still alive. And although he is now gone, she still agreed to let us rent this property. I guess she understands how much memory we have stored here as a family. Of course, me always paying rent on time probably also factors into why Yara is so kind toward us as well.
I can't believe it. How come I've never heard of it, though?
Well, I wanted to let you know this right after the funeral. I said how I'm going to renew the lease and stay in our parents' house. But you were already on cloud 9 with the $100,000 Mom and Dad left you. So obviously you didn't hear a word I said.
Is that really so?
Yeah. In fact, you've been mistaking this house as one purchased by Mom and Dad all this time. I mean, when Caden and you kicked me out, of course I had to let Yara know the changes. I told her how my younger sister and her husband will be in charge of this property from now on. So of course she's now asking you two for the rent.
This is unbelievable.
Don't forget that you're living in a 2-floor single-family home with a backyard. Plus, the property is located in city center. You'd have to pay almost twice the rent normally if it wasn't for Yara. With that being said, I suggest that you don't give up on a property like this. Just work harder and try to pay your bills on time. After all, in exchange for a rent much below the average market price, Yara has zero tolerance for late payment. Trust me, life will turn into a cakewalk as long as you're not behind on rent there.
That's not what I'm hearing right now. She's telling me to get out immediately. She claims that we never even renewed the lease and calls us squatters. When I told her we'll renew it right now, she said it's too late and threatens to call the police if we don't move out right away.
I see. That's what I thought. It actually just means that you two are already on the blacklist. I mean, although she's related to us. Yara's not stupid enough to put up with illegal tenants. That's why she's telling Caden and you to get out on the spot without even renewing the lease.
Excuse me? What do you mean we're on the blacklist already?
Well, what do you think? Just look at the two of you. Not only are you behind on rent, you also broke the news with that fire. These all make Caden and you the last people anyone would ever want to rent their house to. Just in case, if you're still not aware of it. But the two of you have made a name for yourselves. Not in a good way, obviously. And as the landlord, Yara is well aware of everything that happened.
Wait, are you being serious right now?
You bet I am. In fact, let me ask you this. But would you want to rent your house to someone like Caden and you if you were in Yara's place? Anyways, I don't see what's the problem with evicting you guys. I think Yara is making a very wise choice. After all, your credit score plays a big role in a lot of cases.
I can't believe it. You must be lying to me. I worked so hard to make this house mine.
Don't get so negative just yet. It's not too late to fix your mistake and beg Yara to renew the lease. With that being said, I hope everything turns out just fine with Caden and you from now.
Diana, you have to do something and help us out here. Our life's nothing but a hot mess right now. No matter how much we explain ourselves to Yara, she insists that she won't rent her house to people who have no credit scores. I mean, Miley and I are unemployed currently. Also, the fire we caused seems to be kept on public record. This is definitely not the life we've had in mind at first.
Unfortunately, there is nothing I can do. The two of you better move out as soon as possible and look for a new place to live in.
Well, but that's not realistic right now. Not only are we both jobless, Miley and I don't have a penny to our names. Imagine this, but there won't be any issues with rent if this house was purchased in the first place. We could have made a living with working part-time only and enjoy life at a slow pace. Who would have thought that we would become practically homeless again?
Too bad then. You have to find a new place at this point, though. I mean, I'm assuming that you don't want to live on the streets together with Miley, right?
Please let us stay at your place, Diana. Text me your address and we'll be there in a minute. Miley and I are willing to pay you rent this time.
That's not happening. Don't even dream about it. I'm never letting the two of you stay at my place for a second time. Not in a million years.
Then what about only letting me stay? I've always found you to be extremely hot. Trust me, but I really do think that you're a cutie with an excellent body.
Excuse me?
You know what? Why don't you just be my girlfriend? As long as you're willing to date me, divorcing Miley won't be a problem at all. I stopped having any romantic feelings for her a long time ago. All she ever does is slop around the house these days.
The fact that you're stabbing your wife in the back like this just to make yourself look good to me is so pathetic. I have already screenshotted everything you just said and sent it to Miley.
What?
I guess not only will you end up homeless soon, you'll also be divorced. It looks to me by now that Miley's anger has already hit the ceiling.
This can't possibly be true. How can you snitch on me like this? Don't forget that you're being chased after by a handsome guy like me who's younger than you. You probably would never run into such a miracle again. Considering the fact that you're practically a grandma now.
Work at the strip club if you have a liking for older women. There'll be a lot available for you to chase after.
Caden is really nothing but a jerk. I can't believe he has the audacity to cheat on me when he's responsible for that fire. It's all his fault that our apartment burned down. And now he's looking to have an affair with the older sister of his own wife? I should have known that he's a backstabber before we got married.
I know, right? It makes me sick to the stomach just by thinking how I used to see him as my younger brother-in-law.
Stop speaking of us as if we were a couple. I have already divorced him.
Wait, what? You guys are divorced?
He's really rubbed me the wrong way this time. I feel like losing my cool every time his face pops up in my mind. Anyways, please let me know your address, Diana. You have to lend a hand to your younger sister who's going through a hard time right now.
I'm not brainless enough to let you leech off of me again, though. Stop bothering me and get a life already. After all, I have come to realize that you're nothing but a parasite, too.
Come on! Don't be so rude. Aren't we family? Tell you what, the court ruled that Caden doesn't have to pay me alimony because I had a job before. Plus, he's now unemployed. Just imagine how heartbroken I am right now to not get anything at all for the divorce. You're seriously my last resort.
Well, that's not my problem to care about. I don't want to have a thing to do with you anymore. So stop texting me from now on. I don't remember having a sister who has $1 million of debt to pay off.
What did you just say? $1 million worth of debt to pay off? That's nonsense. How am I in debt?
You're not right now, but you will be soon. And let me tell you the reason why. Your landlord chose to take action.
What do you mean? Are you talking about the landlord of my apartment?
Yeah. Yara updated your previous landlord on everything that happened. Let me tell you this. But that fire you caused has nothing to do with smoking, actually. According to the investigation carried out by the fire department, it seems like Caden and you have lit up fireworks in your apartment before. You won't deny this is false, right?
It must be a lie. We made sure that nobody would find out about it, though.
Well, the professionals working for the fire department are not to be taken lightly. Plus, it's not even that difficult to know how Caden and you are nothing but absolute morons. What's worse, the government, insurance company, and disaster relief organizations do not cover any loss in a fire that was caused on purpose. In other words, the two of you will be solely responsible for this incident. So you better get ready to have your bank account be overdrawn.
I don't believe it. You're just lying to piss me off. I mean, how much would that even cost me? I could never afford to pay off my debt in a million years. Plus, it was Caden who suggested to have some fun with the fireworks one day when he got drunk. It's all his fault. I'm not paying anything because I have nothing to do with it.
I know you just divorced him recently. But are you guys still in touch with each other? After all, you might end up paying for everything if Caden's nowhere to be found.
That's impossible. There's absolutely no way for me to afford such a hefty fine all by myself. Something has to be done about it. I've got to get hold of Caden before he manages to fly the coop.
Well, I wish you luck with locating him. Anyways, I gotta go now. Bye. After that, Miley actually managed to find Caden without much effort. But things still didn't go well for her. Caden told her that. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to give it a thumbs up and click the subscribe button. Hit the notification bell so you'll know when a new video comes out. Don't forget to also leave a comment below, and I'll see you next time.